Come on in, everyone. Come on in because we are here to review Real Housewives of Atlanta. We're on season 17 and we're on episode 15. Boy, was this a good episode. It was a good episode, y'all. I'm not going to lie. You know, they're calling this episode The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead. But you know what? Um, yeah, I guess you could say a whole lot of stuff been dug up. A whole lot of secrets, a whole lot of tea, a whole lot of anger, a whole lot of resentment has risen from the dead, and we not burying nobody. Ain't nobody getting buried in this cemetery. Just like that man said, that man in Scotland who's over that cemetery said people used to come out here and rob these graves for parts, body parts. Well, guess what? These ladies is rising some secrets from the dead. But you know what? I'm going to say kudos to Shamea this episode because Shamea, at least in the beginning, now she ruined it in the end when she came back with that apology tour. But what Shamea did at that table last week and here is what she did was she ran Porsha up out of that club. There you go, girl. There you go. You see, most of the time what we've seen is we've seen Shamea get run away. She's the one that runs away and cries, and Porsha gets to stay there in all her glory and laugh and play preacher and tell everybody to get on her side. Porsha don't be convicted. She don't get convicted. She stands in her stuff, and then she gets to stay, and Shamea goes ahead and cry. But let me tell you, that punch last week that Shamea threw hit Porsha so hard. I know y'all don't want to think it hit her hard. It hit her hard. And let me tell you why it hit her hard. Because it was an unexpected sucker punch. That's what it was. Because Porsha said to us, I would have never expected Shamea to do that. There you go. This is what happens when you are used to a person being a certain kind of way and you count on them always being that way. And what Porsha counts on for Shamea is no matter what Porsha does, no matter what she says, no matter how many lies she tells, she's never is going to count on Shamea going low to the ground. She's not. So she don't have to worry about it. But what happened in this fight was Shamea went low. She went low. She sure did go low. She went all the way to hell, and it got Porsha on a sucker punch. And just for a minute, it stung Porsha. It did. That's why she had to get up from that club and she had to leave. She was stung. Now, don't get it twisted. This doesn't mean that Porsha's knocked out. Absolutely not, because Porsha is resilient. I told you I know who Porsha is. She's formidable. All she did was go back and strategize and say, I'm coming back even stronger. So Shamea better get ready. She thinks she gonna knock Porsha out with one punch like that. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. But she did what she needed to do, which is to let her know the old Shamea is gone and there's a new Shamea. So we can establish some new rules. Because, you know, one of the reasons why I know what Shamea said was true was because Porsha did exactly what Shamea did when Shamea was stung. She went back and she called her mama, crying to her mama. And what did Porsha do after she was stung? She went right on back home and called her sister and said, can you believe what happened? And let me tell you why I know it's true about what happened with that mama Diane trying to sleep with Shamea's dad is because what was very telling was that Lauren on the phone said, who would repeat that? Repeat, which means it had been said before, which we all know that it was true. And what they were really appalled at, what they really were appalled at, both Lauren and Porsha, was not whether it was true or not. What they were appalled at is, why would you repeat that? Well, there you go. They never expected Shamea to go that low and get that dirty. What they thought is they could hold on to this secret. They could get everybody to rally against them about Shamea, and Shamea would never say nothing. I hope Shamea is getting some therapy. I hope her therapist is helping her, because what Shamea keeps telling everyone is that all her life, she feels as if when there's tension inside of her, where there's something that's wrong, something that she disagrees with, something that she doesn't like, what she's always been willing to do is that and so that she doesn't hurt others, she keeps the pain herself. You see, that's what happens. That's what has created this scenario. And what Shamea did was Shamea let Porsha do this for a lot of years, a lot of years. And this is who Porsha knew Shamea was. So Porsha had no boundaries. You know, everybody wants to overlook the fact that Shamea is right. Porsha was the first one to bring up the mothers. She brought it up in that text message, right? But even Cynthia got here and got it twisted. She goes, well, you know what? You brought it up at the dinner table. What difference does that make, Cynthia? We all been watching Real Housewives of Atlanta for a long time. And what we know is if you say something in social media, we can bring it to the table. So I don't know why Cynthia's over here trying to say, well, Porsha didn't bring it up at the table. You did. I would have given you a pass if you didn't bring it. So are you trying to say that people can say whatever they want to say in social media, but then when the girls get together, we can't bring it up at the table? Because that's what Cynthia was trying to tell Shamea. You brought it up at the wrong time. You brought it at the table. Why? So she can say it to the whole world in social media, but I can't bring it here to this table. No, those were never the rules, Cynthia. You're bringing up new rules for your friend, Porsha. You see, these girls right now, even though they know Porsha's lying because Porsha's a liar, they will buy anything that Porsha's selling. Anything. Even this little gift, this proclamation, Lady of the Glen. Them ladies got up there and clapped as if Porsha gave Phaedra the key to Scotland. Okay? They act like she got the key to Scotland, right? Because Porsha went out and got her Lady of the Glen. You know, it's crazy. They want to call Shamea lapdogs, but let me tell you right now, all these ladies are the lapdogs of Porsha. They are. They are. We find out Kelly really ain't. Kelly went over there and tried to make peace with Porsha because she just wants to get another season. But Kelly says she knows the truth. She knows the whole truth. But good for Shamea running Porsha up out that club. Let's really get into it. So anyway, Kelly said right. Kelly said that Porsha's crazy and that Shamea was hysterical after that whole night went down. And that's when Shamea realized this has been a lifelong problem she has, that she's too careful not to hurt others, even if it hurts herself. That's the biggest problem. And that's a problem, Shamea, when you're dealing with a person like Porsha who doesn't think that way. Porsha's willing to do whatever she needs to get what she wants. She's never going to think about your well-being. She's going to think about her well-being first and foremost. So when you over there sacrificing yourself for her all these years, none of it was happening. So you're right, Shamea. You need a whole new game plan of how you're going to deal with Porsha, because you can never expect her to give you cover. Not at all. Shamea says, I realize it's over now. Good. She's doing you a favor. It should have been over years ago, but you were blinded by it. Now you see. Now you're hurt because now you're trying to figure out whether or not you was really friends all these years in the first place. No, you really weren't. You were only friends to the extent that it would benefit Porsha. This is who Porsha is. People can love her all they want. And I'm not saying people need to hate Porsha, but Porsha needs to come with a warning message. All right. She's a fun girl. She's a good looking girl. She's successful, but she needs to come with a warning message. And people need to learn how to deal with the Portias of the world. But all the ladies was getting their makeup done, getting ready for this Phaedra birthday night out. They was all going to go to the club, the hottest club in Scotland. It made me want to go to Scotland and party because they was dancing and drinking and the black people were everywhere. All the black Scottish people and the white Scottish people were there. It really did look like a good old time. And what we found was that that was when Shamea cried and she went on back to the castle. And, you know, Kelly went back with her. Kelly said, I'm going to be a good friend to you because you let me stay in your condo. I'm going to go back with you. But what Kelly did is what we know Kelly to be. Kelly also, I've said this over and over again, Kelly looks out for herself. And so when Kelly went back with Shamea, she said, yeah, Shamea, I'm here to comfort you, help you wipe your tears because you got in this big beef with Porsha at the dinner table. And then when you left, Porsha got to hold court and be, you know, Jesus sit up there getting amens from all the lady. But Kelly said to you, I didn't come to Scotland to sit on this couch and cry with you. So I'm really not going to hold your hand all night. See, this is where you got to understand who people are. And I'm not knocking Kelly, but what Kelly held on was to her truth. I'm here to comfort you, but I'm not going to sit here all night with you and miss the party. So you either going to put some clothes on and come with me, or I'm going to go to the party without you, right? I can support you, but I'm not going to support you to the extent that I miss out on something I want to do, and I want to go to this damn party. So in the end, Shamea had to get up and put some clothes on because Kelly gave her a boundary. Kelly said, I can support you, but not to the extent I miss out on something I want to do. That's what it looks like, Shamea, giving people boundaries. Okay. So you know what Shamea did? She put on her little Scottish outfit and they went down there to the club. They missed K. Michelle singing to her track for free. And I thought that was nice because just like K. Michelle said, she don't sing for free. But you know what? She was getting some free publicity in Scotland. Maybe it's a difference. Maybe if you do it internationally and you can get some international recognition, maybe in a lot of ways, K. Michelle, that was some good promo for you. So K. Michelle sang for free and she was being generous. She said, you know what? Not only am I going to sing a couple of songs, I'm going to let Drew come over here and sing a couple of songs of her song Delusional, because there's a whole lot of delusion going over here. And Drew was able to come over there and sing a couple of songs. Hey, talk about all the lies going on. I've seen all the stories in the news media that someone on Real Housewives of Atlanta is pregnant. Supposedly someone broke the secret. I forget the lady's name. I forget her name who broke the secret. But I've been hearing who they think is pregnant. They don't know. I think I know who it is. It's Drew Sidora. Have y'all seen her confessional videos? It's on my thumbnail. Have you seen her confessional videos where her face is puffy, her body's puffy? Drew is the pregnant one. I'm going to put it out there right now. Let it be known that I'm saying right now that Drew is the pregnant one. And I would love to know who the daddy is. Is it going to be Ralph Pittman or is it going to be a whole nother man? If it is an African, goodness gracious. If it is an African, these ladies need to stop. But we don't know. We're going to find out later. But I'm pretty convinced right now that the pregnant lady on the show is Drew. That's what I'm believing. I could be wrong. But when they was at that club, Angela had the nerve to say, how you going to come up in this club and dance in this lady's face after you've accused her mama of trying to sleep with your daddy? Come on, Angela. Well, why wouldn't she come up there and dance in her face? It's what Porsha's been doing all this season. How can you come and dance in Shamea's face knowing your mama did what she did? It works both ways. It's really interesting how they are able to crucify and criticize Shamea for what she does as if it's shameful, but they don't have no reason to believe that Porsha's shameful. Porsha was lying all episode long. I tell you, it was almost as if her lips were moving, then there was a lie coming out. Porsha said, I need to leave. I can't be here. Good. You did good, Shamea. You ran her up out the club. You ran Porsha up out the club. You made Porsha concede ground. You made the bully who's in charge of all these bullies on the show this season, you made her clear the club. And then you got up there and you took the mic. There you go, Shamea. Instead of them with the mic, you cleared the room and you took the mic. Good for you. That's how you're going to need to handle. Stand on business, like Kelly told you later on. Stand on business and clear the club. Okay? Now, later on, you came back with all this apology. That wasn't it. You shouldn't have done that. You really shouldn't have done it. But hey, Porsha left and she took her crew with her. She took Drew with her and she took Angela with her. They both left the party. There you go. You cleared the club. And Shamea said, yeah, I came here and then everybody skedaddled. But she said it like it was a bad thing. No, it's a good thing, girl. When you got an opponent and whatever you did, no matter how, when you have an opponent and you smack them, either with your fist or with your words, and you caused them to clear the room, that means you was effective. You was effective. Why are you sad and lamenting over the fact that they skedaddled? Good, they skedaddled. But the next day, Phaedra said, I'm going to take some of the ladies to the cemetery. Maybe we can bury some of all this stuff. Porsha said, I'm not going with you because the truth be told, I don't want to bury nothing because it has risen. Okay, the dirt has risen and I'm here to fight now. So what she said was instead, I'm going to go to a spa, give me a massage and get ready for this battle because y'all think we about to bury this. No, it's getting started because now what Porsha has realized is Shamea ain't the old Shamea no more. And that means I can't just sit here, as Porsha tries to say, and just try to get along. Girl, I got to be ready for battle. But Cynthia, Kelly, and Shamea went to the cemetery to bury everything, but ain't nothing going to get buried. It's gonna get dug up even more. And Porsha said, no, we're not burying nothing. We about to match energies. See, there you go. We about to match energies, and Porsha gonna notch it up. Porsha gonna not. It ain't no way a person like Porsha lays down. She don't lay down. She does not lay down, and she ain't gonna lay down. So, like I said, Shamea, you got in that sucker punch. You got in a good punch because Porsha wasn't expecting it. She really wasn't. And now that she knows who now she says, now I know Shamea's out here kind of coming for fight. Porsha gonna be ready for you. Porsha is gonna be ready for you. Once you know who Porsha is, you can kind of predict every move she got. That's what I'm saying. Once you really know who she is, you can predict everything. And what she did was she got on that call and she called her sister. And the first lie she told was, yeah, you know, the whole vacation or whatever is going really, really good. Even me and Shamea were really vibing. Girl, you was never vibing with Shamea. You weren't even talking to Shamea. So that was your first lie, a misrepresentation of the truth. You was never vibing, okay? You were barely coexisting. So that was a lie. And then you said, yeah, she started bringing up something talking about she heard that I didn't want her around Pilar. And then she says, B, what you talking about? But Porsha, you admitted that you did say it. So when Shamea brought it up, it wasn't a lie. So why are you trying to tell Lauren it was a lie and that Shamea was lying? No, it was the truth. So that was another lie Porsha told. She's telling Lauren a lie to get Lauren on her side, as if she never said it, but she said it. Now, last episode, I said I understood why Porsha wouldn't want her daughter around Shamea. I didn't have a problem with it. But don't sit here and lie and act like you never said it, Porsha. You did say it. You would have to be calling a whole lot of people a liar and you telling the truth. No, you're a liar. And then she said Shamea's over here using Pilar for clout. She's using Pilar for clout because Shamea told Cynthia or whoever it was that I still get to see Pilar because she comes over and she gets to play with her daughters. So Shamea says, I'm happy that I still get to see Pilar. And what Porsha said was, don't be using my daughter for clout and my baby as a flex. Well, that's how Porsha interpreted it. I didn't interpret that. But it also further understands now why Porsha stopped Pilar from going over there. Now we understand. So Porsha, here we go. You did tell Dennis and whoever else, I don't want Pilar going over there. But the only reason you stopped it wasn't because you stopped it because you were protecting your daughter and saying, I don't want my daughter over a woman's house when I'm not getting along. See, when that was the reason why I thought you did it, I agree with you. I agreed because you were doing it to protect your daughter, right? Hey, I'm beefing with this lady. Why would I want my daughter to go over there? I talked about it last week, generational wealth. See, this is what I'm telling you. When you think people are doing something for you, what you got to ask yourself, are they doing it for you or are they doing it for themselves? And last week, I believed that Porsha had stopped her daughter from going over to Shamea's because she was protecting her daughter from any negative energy Shamea might have. But now we find out that the real reason that Porsha pulled the plug was not out of protection for her daughter. It was because she believed that Shamea was using her daughter for clout, and she didn't want Shamea to benefit from her daughter. Now, some of you might say, well, isn't that protecting her daughter? No. It is different motivation. What she's doing it for is to cut Shamea off, to ice out Shamea, just like she's doing on the show. Let me cut her off even more. You see, I'm going to cut her off from this friend group, but now I recognize that she values the connection to my daughter, so let me cut her off from that too. If y'all don't see the difference, rewind this video one more time. It's different motivations. It's different. Porsha cut off her daughter, not out of protection for her daughter, but to punish Shamea, just like she's doing on this show. I tell you, you better know who Porsha Williams is because there's a lot of Porsha Williams out there, and y'all better protect yourself from them. Like I said, she need to come with a warning message. And then it's like I said, I knew it was a lie I mean, I knew it was the truth about the mama trying to sleep with the daddy because Lauren kept saying, I would never repeat that in front of everyone. Repeat, repeat, repeat. So what Lauren is saying is she knew it was the truth. She did. But what they expected Shamea to do was to keep the secret no matter what. No matter if they brought up the fact that Shamea's mama bought the restaurant or a beauty supply, no matter what both Lauren and Porsha expected was no matter what goes on, you better keep the secrets that harm us a secret. They said Shamea crossed the line. She did cross the line. But listen, y'all hopscotching all over the line, Porsha, you and Lauren, in this conversation. You really, really revealed yourself. Lauren and Porsha basically admitted it's true. And what they said was, if you want to throw nuclear bombs, I'm going to throw them too. So there's going to be a whole lot of dirt that come out on Shamea. I know it. I know a whole lot of dirt is going to come out on Shamea too, because now they're at war. You see, before, Porsha didn't even look at Shamea as a worthy opponent. She didn't. She didn't respect Shamea as a worthy opponent. But now she's having to put a little bit of respect on Shamea's name. And so now she's ready to fight. And that little thing about Shamea's mom sleeping with the brother, I don't believe it, or it could be a twist to the story. It could have been some twist to the story that Shamea met the brother first back in the dating world, and then she met the man she married. I don't know what the story is, but all I know is Porsha gonna twist the story. She gonna twist the story in her favor. But Porsha says she's not taking the high road no more. She about to go low, low, low. And just like Shamea said, don't be mad when I get my licks back. Don't be mad. I ain't mad at Shamea. Get your licks back, because Porsha gonna continue to punch you in your face too. She really is. So Cynthia, go sit down when you were telling Shamea that she shouldn't have brought it up at the table because Porsha didn't. She ain't got to follow Porsha. She don't have to follow Porsha, because on all the Real Housewives series, from Atlanta to Orange County to everywhere else, if you say something in social media, if you throw a bomb in social media about anything, then it's fair game on this show. These are the rules, Cynthia, and you should know it. You an OG. You sat up here and told us how you've been on here since 2009. You know the rules, Cynthia. No, 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 no. But Portia's still around there talking about Shamea trying to destiny swap. Shamea is. You both are doing it. You both covet things that each other has that you want. Absolutely. Shamea wants fame, the fame that Porsha had. And Porsha, please, Porsha, you want the life Shamea has in terms of the family and the wealth. You do. You absolutely want it. So the gloves are off. The gloves are off. The spa day was a flop. The cemetery was creepy with the mortician and the Harry Potter stories and digging up the dead and the exorcism. All that was really, really creepy. And, they're sitting at the table and they're talking about how all this stuff is going on. And K. Michelle is saying she don't want to live in hate anymore. And so she decides she wants to even make more amends with everyone. And then this is when Porsha starts lying again, saying, you know what, I came in peace and love with Shamea. And if Shamea really wanted to make up with me and be friends, I thought we was on the road to recovery. And that's when K. Michelle had to say, you lying. Porsha, you lying again. You were not on no road to building a friendship. You were not on no road to recovery. So here comes the gaslighting. And what Porsha's going to say is, the reason the gloves are off now is because I was really putting forward an effort to be friends with Shamea. But because Shamea brought this up, now I got to go low again. Girl, you was never on a road to recovery. What it was you didn't really view Shamea as a threat. And so you was just sitting back and kicking it. You were sitting back and relaxing with all your minions around you because you didn't really think Shamea was a threat, because you've known her to be the woman who is willing to sacrifice herself for others. Okay, you know that about her. So you weren't on high alert. But now you see this new Shamea that everyone says is a dark cloud around her. And Shamea says, okay, that's fine. Y'all want to fight? Let's fight. And now all of a sudden you telling lies talking about you was on the road to recovery. No, you weren't. You weren't on no road to recovery, and I'm glad K. Michelle called her out. The problem is they should have called her out in front of her face. All these ladies want to call out Porsha behind the scenes in the outtakes, but they really never want to say it to her face. Cynthia don't say it to her face. Angela ain't saying it to her face. None of them are saying it to her face. They all saying it on the outtakes, but they yes her in front of everyone. They egg Porsha on, hype her up, let them all believe they really believe her. But a lot of these ladies know who Porsha is, but they kiss up to her in her face so they can get another season on Real Housewives of Atlanta. You know, Shamea really should have never apologized. She really shouldn't. She shouldn't have kept going back. She shouldn't have even apologized to those ladies. You know, she's sitting there telling, I'm sorry, I messed up your birthday. No, don't apologize. Stand in your business. Shamea really should have come on Real Housewives of Atlanta, not apologizing to no one, and come on here as the rich bitch. None of these ladies could touch her if Shamea stepped into her rich bitch persona. None of these ladies could touch her. I would be flexing on these ladies so hard. They would, and if they're going to attack me, they're going to attack me over something that's true, which is I'm the rich bitch and you're all the bitches going through bankruptcy, sleeping around with various men to get money. Let them walk in their stuff and you walk in yours. Shamea really should switch it up. I hope she gets another season. I do. And I hope she comes back as the rich bitch, right? You want to call me a bitch? And that's right. I'm going to be the rich bitch. Not this woman who wants to sit here. Because I'm going to tell you right now, there ain't no way that girlfriend of Porsha's can touch Shamea's husband, Gerald. Now, I know that girl got a lot of nice businesses, salons. She ain't got the kind of money, Gerald. Go toe to toe. Go toe to toe. Okay? And run Porsha up out another club. Listen, I love a good fight, but I need it to be a fight. I don't need it to be Porsha sitting back with her feet up, with her bodyguards standing around here, and it's a one-way fight, and Shamea taking punches, falling down, and getting up apologize. No, put your hands up, Shamea. Put your hands up. Let's have a real fight, and then I'll be interested. But all this falling down and crying and all this other kind of stuff and apologizing, don't nobody want to see this. No one wants to see it. Come ready to box, okay? Come ready to box. Now, Kelly said, ain't nobody looking at no facts. They not. They looking at their pocketbooks, Kelly, just like you are. They're not looking at the facts. What they're doing is they're trying to secure their role next season. And it was just so many lies. Porsha running, Phaedra running around here lying, talking about she only been in two. You know what? Maybe it's not a lie. She said she only been in 2 relationships in 7 years. That may not be a lie. Okay, maybe Cynthia was misinterpreting it, saying she only had sex with 2 people in 7 years. Maybe that's the lie, but that don't mean she's been in relationships with those people. So I'm not gonna say Phaedra's lying. I'm really not gonna say it. But they had this final birthday party for Phaedra. It was cute. But here's something I found interesting. This kind of tells you the personalities of people. Remember when they all went out and shot for those kilts? So they shot for the kilts because what they said was, both Porsha and Phaedra, what they said was, when we get ready to have this birthday dinner, I'm going to want you guys to take these kilts and I want you to pair them with your outfits, right? And I want you to, we're going to all wear them on this special occasion. Well, when the special occasion came, did you notice that some of the ladies did what Phaedra and Porsha said, and they wore the kilts, even though the kilts sort of kind of messed up their outfits? It didn't really match. These ladies had on beautiful gowns, but you saw some ladies say, I'm going to do as I'm told, and I'm going to wear the kilt with my outfit, even though it messes up my outfit, right? And who were those ladies who did that? Shamea, okay, Angela, right? Who else did? Shamea, Angela. Who else wore it? I can't remember if Drew did it. But I can tell you who didn't do it. Porsha didn't do it. She ain't messing up her outfit. Phaedra didn't do it. She ain't messing up her outfit. Cynthia didn't do it. She ain't messing up her outfit. Okay? And you know who else didn't do it? K. Michelle didn't do it because K. Michelle said, I'm not messing up my outfit. And what that can tell you about these personalities, who are the people willing to sacrifice something in order for the betterment of what the group wanted to do. And that tells you about their personalities. And who are the people who are saying, I don't care what you tell me to do. I'm going to do what makes my outfit look the best. And I'm not saying it's even wrong that the ladies didn't wear it, but it's an insight, right? You got Phaedra and Porsha, who were the ones that told everyone to wear the kilts, and they were the ones that didn't even do it. Imagine that. You and all your friends go out to get these crazy looking t-shirts, and everybody's supposed to wear the t-shirts on this particular day. Are you the person that shows up with the t-shirt for the camaraderie of the group? Or are you the one that says, I'm not wearing that crazy t-shirt just to be part of the group? And here you have. So that's when I say, they want to call Shamea the lapdog because she goes along with the group. She does. She does. But what you're also seeing is there's a couple other go-alongers. And Angela's a go-alonger. Angela may have this mouth on her, but I'm starting to realize Angela is a lapdog for Porsha. She absolutely is. I always tell people, don't listen to what they say, watch what they do. Angela got a mouth on her, but in the end, Angela does as she's told. That's probably why she got a problem with that husband she with. I told you that Charles Oakley is a force to be reckoned with. And you can't have two people in the house like this, right? So Angela may come here and bark at these ladies and with all these clapbacks and all this other kind of stuff. But I'm telling you right now, Angela is a follower. I'm going to tell you right now, Angela is a follower. Okay. But anyway, these bagpipes was playing and they had a nice little dinner in a secret room. And then more lies started rolling off Porsha's tongue, out her mouth. Because after Cynthia's speech, at least Cynthia was real. And she said, hey, you know what? We've had some ups and downs, Phaedra. We've been together since 2009. And I've witnessed the growth of you. And I'm happy and proud of you. It was the truth. But then you got Porsha, who came over here and said, I'm a lie. I'm going to put some hot sauce on this, everything, just to make Shamea look even worse and feel even worse. And even Angela knew, Porsha, you're doing too much. You trying to convince us all that Shamea never mattered. Well, if you know the truth, if you know the truth, Angela, then why don't you tell your friend Porsha that you know the truth? Nah, because you a lapdog too. All that calling Shamea a lapdog, you a lapdog too. And everybody could see through Porsha, but nobody's willing to confront her. Nobody's willing to tell her the truth. And if you look at Porsha and all her relationships with men and women, everybody, when they finally don't talk to Porsha, they actually don't really like her. They kind of hate her. When relationships break up and people hate you, this tells you that what they feel like in a relationship is they were taken advantage of and they were duped. Everyone that leaves a relationship with Porsha feels as if they were taken advantage of. Now, a lot of you might think I'm getting too hard on Porsha, but I'm not doing this just to be hard on Porsha. I'm doing this for everybody out there who has a Porsha in their life, right? Who is frustrated with the Porschas in their life. Y'all better wake up and you better be like Shamea is now starting to be. You're going to need to be a different person. You're going to have to start waiting for the Porschas of the world to be different people. You're going to have to be a different person because the Porschas ain't going to stop. They're not going to stop. And Porsha just told everyone, no, I'm not stopping. I'm not burying this. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back even stronger. Stronger. That's what they're telling you. They're going to come back stronger. They're not. Porsha said, I'm not going to get run up out no club no more. No more. Not going to happen. She going to come back. She going to come back. And then at the very end, everybody's triggered over death. K. Michelle's crying because she's had near-death experiences with herself, her mom, and everybody else. Angela's triggered over her death. And we have Drew is also triggered. And then Phaedra says at the end, this trip was great. It was a 10 out of 9. There it is. We all thought Porsha has not only matured, but she's learned a few things. And then she says it one more time. She says something dumb one more time. And she says, this trip was a 10 out of a 9. Girl, this whole video I just did, should be a public service announcement to anyone who's got a Porsha in their life. You like them. They have a good time. They bring parts of themselves to your life and you enjoy those parts of them. But you better be careful, because what you need to know is that any moment, at any time, if it comes down between you or them, they're always going to choose themselves. So tread lightly in those friendships, tread lightly in those relationships, tread lightly in those marriages, or wherever the Portias are, at work, in your community, in your home, in your family. Tread lightly. Let Shamea be your lesson. But all right, let's see this fight that's going to be coming up in these next episodes. See y'all soon. Talk to you later. Bye.